If there's one thing that we've learned from the threat of President Trump's tariffs is our relationship with the United States has changed forever. Not just on lumber, but on all goods and services. Our entire province is on our toes, not knowing what's going to come next. And for the forest sector in particular, we faced many challenges. We have faced wildfires, we've faced the end of the beetle kill, pine beetle epidemic, and we've also taken a number of steps to conserve our forests as well through new conservation measures to protect the biodiversity in the ecosystem as well. And so this is an uncertain time for forestry without a doubt, and tariffs add to that. They raise the concerns tenfold. But when our market share has declined, the U.S.'s domestic supply hasn't technically increased that much. It's actually the European market that has increased. And so you have examples right now and into the future where you've got a president who's talking about adding a tax on a tariff on Canadian lumber on top of duties that already exist and are set to go up. And you may have and will have European lumber coming in and also Russian lumber coming in to the United States with zero penalties on it. I don't know about you, but that doesn't make any sense to me. The president ran on this campaign of building more housing. This tariff, this tax, is really a tax on middle-class Americans who just want to build homes in their communities, and middle-class Americans who, at a time when they're dealing with wildfires, floods and hurricanes, are going to have to pay more. In some cases, 20 to 30 to 40% more just to build their home or rebuild their home. But again, I heard very clearly that California, a state that predominantly elects Democrats, is going through a really tough time right now. And they recognize that when they're looking at dealing with the housing crisis they already have, in addition to building almost 20,000 units of housing, they're going to need the help of the president to do that through FEMA support and other mechanisms. But also, they're going to need Canadian lumber. They're going to need British Columbian lumber for Canadians. If they're not directly involved in the lumber industry, we need to recognize that British Columbia, I'll speak in the case of British Columbia was built based off of the forest sector. We still rely heavily on the revenue from the forest sector to pay for our schools, our healthcare, our way of life, our social services. And so when British Columbia's forest sector thrives, British Columbia thrives. We think we can continue to play a role in supporting the infrastructure that Americans need, but also we're going to diversify. And I think there will be a time, and I think this president may not be in his time as president, but maybe in the future there will be a president in the future that will be coming screaming to Canada saying, we need your lumber. The president has threatened the sovereignty of Canadians. He has threatened to erase history and the line that divides our nations. I can't think of a more serious threat to our democracy here in Canada. British Columbians, Canadians from coast to coast to coast, take that very seriously. And if there's one thing we can thank the president for, is he has never brought more unity to this country than ever before.